I stirred my wine slowly, watching the ruby surface tremble against the glass. My wife, ex-wife now, technically, sat across from me. Her manicured hands were folded neatly on the table like the verdict was already in. "I told you," she said, loud enough for the neighboring tables to hear, "stick to small paychecks. You look ridiculous talking about investments like you understand them." Her mother didn't miss a beat. "Men like you," she sneered, dabbing her lips with a linen napkin, "shouldn't talk about money at all. It's embarrassing." Her father stared down at his steak. He didn't need to add anything, the two of them carried enough contempt for the whole table. I swallowed, not the insult, but the urge to smile. My phone vibrated in my lap. A banner glowed across the screen, portfolio manager ready to move their $270 million holdings. Or should I let them keep talking? I locked the screen. I let them keep talking. I hadn't married into wealth because I needed a savior. I married because I was stupidly in love. The first time we met, she told me her family ran a little investment group. That little group turned out to be a multi-generational trust that controlled dozens of blue-chip holdings and several offshore portfolios. I didn't care. I cared about the way she laughed when something genuinely surprised her, crooked and unpolished, like she hadn't been raised behind steel gates. I built software for financial analytics. Not glamorous, not flashy, but it solved problems. Old money was drowning in bad advisors who pretended they understood technology. I digitized their trust management, automated their reporting, and refined risk models that made seasoned bankers blink. Her father respected me then. Her mother tolerated me. She adored me, until she didn't. Money doesn't poison people. It reveals them. The first betrayal started small. I walked into the study to grab my charger. Her voice drifted through the half-open door, soft and surgical. "He thinks he's contributing. Let him. Once the prenup is finalized, he can tinker with his little projects." A pause. The delicate clink of a champagne flute touching marble. "Of course I'll be the beneficiary. He's useful right now, and I like that he tries." Useful. I left the charger on the floor and walked out without a sound. I didn't confront her, not because I was weak, but because that was the moment the math finally clicked. They thought they owned me. I learned more by listening than by yelling. The documents they made me sign for, structural compliance, actually routed Asset Decision Authority to me temporarily so I could integrate their portfolios with my software. Their lawyers assumed I wouldn't read anything outside the highlighted sections. I didn't read it once. I read it 63 times. In the event of legal separation, Asset Authority transferred to the executive holding the software's controlling license. That executive was me. Quietly, I registered 2 shell entities. Then I buried a clause update in the software's backend under risk mitigation logic. If triggered, it would automatically migrate portfolio assignments to the shells. Their lawyers called it a redundancy pathway. I called it revenge insurance. I waited. I watched the insults shift from subtle to public. Her mother's barbs grew sharper with every glass of Bordeaux. Her father stopped seeing me as a business partner and started seeing me as an inconvenience. The dinner was inevitable, a public stage, a captive audience. Wealthy people love the theater of humiliation. She leaned back, swirling her chablis. "You're lucky I married you," she said. "Otherwise you'd still be selling your little apps to startups instead of playing dress-up in real boardrooms." Her mother chuckled, low and poisonous. "Honestly, sweetheart, some men just need to be reminded of their place." I nodded. Then I pulled out my phone and typed one word, move. My portfolio manager didn't ask questions. The sequence had been prepped for 9 months. They ran it like a clean execution. $270 million in equities and bonds began transferring out of the family trust. $42 million in real estate stakes detached from their parent accounts. The offshore liquidity followed. It snapped into my shells like magnets. The software handled the rest, irreversible once in motion, legally airtight. I set the phone face down on the linen tablecloth. Her mother noticed first. Email alerts flashed red across her watch. She lifted her wrist, eyes narrowing. What is this? Her father checked his own phone. His jaw tightened. He looked at me like he was finally seeing the stranger across the table. My wife blinked. What did you do? I didn't answer. I simply lifted my glass and drank. Panic spread in waves. She snatched her phone, scrolling with frantic fingers, portfolio access denied. Trust permissions revoked. Authority transferred. Her father stood, voice trembling. You can't. Oh, I can, I said, the first words I'd spoken all evening. I leaned forward, elbows on the table. You wanted someone small, I said quietly. Someone who wouldn't talk about money. Her mother's face went colorless. You're bluffing. My phone buzzed again, a screenshot of the final ledger transfer, signed, executed, irrevocable. I slid it across the table. Her mother stopped breathing for a second. Her father sank back into his chair. My wife stared at me like I was someone she'd never met, which was ironic. She'd never bothered to meet me at all. There are two kinds of power, the kind that's inherited and the kind that's earned. Inheritance makes you loud. Earning makes you quiet. I walked out of the restaurant without paying the bill. It wasn't defiance, it was symmetry. By morning, their lawyers would descend like vultures, screaming breach, fraud, theft. They'd find every signature, every timestamp, every line of digital authority they had authorized themselves. They treated me like furniture. They forgot furniture can burn the house down. I never sent a statement. My silence was their press conference. That night, I slept better than I had in years, not because I won, but because I finally understood the truth. You don't punish people by screaming at them. You punish them by letting them believe they've already won, right up until the moment you take everything they never imagined you could.